Good morning, Phoenix. This is Kyle Smith.
And this is Jose Tapia.
And this is Brett and Circus!
Happy New Year.
We're excited to be back.
I'm excited to be back, too.
I'm sorry if I blew out any of your ears. I just want to get some energy in here because I'm pumped.
What are you pumped about, Kyle?
I'm pumped about keeping my pump shotguns away from gun grabbers.
The government?
The government of Virginia specifically.
What is going on with Virginia? Why are they trying to... There seems to be a lot going on there. There is a rally or something.
Yeah, Virginia's trying to pass really hard gun legislation. So there was a pro-Second Amendment protest earlier this week to which Governor Ralph Northam.
Ralph Northam?
We talked about him last semester, the blackface guy.
Oh, yeah. You did bring him up.
Well, that's okay if you're a Democrat. But no, then he banned guns from the Capitol.
Like the entire city?
No, the Capitol grounds,
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a pretty big protest. Thousands of people. It was getting smeared as being white supremacists. You know,
Of course, anybody who's for the retaining the Second Amendment is obviously a supremacist.
But I mean, there's a lot of pushback on that. Black Lives Matter was there. The Charlotte Antifa were there.
Oh man, the whole
in support because I was reading the leader of the Charlotte Antifa was going on about how keeping guns are important.
Interesting.
And basically, what we've said as a pushback to like, why would you give your guns to the cops if they're racist? Basically said that is like, oh, black people are unfairly discriminated against. Like they're seen as more threatening if they have guns than white owners. So it's it's important. But whether we agree on the whole racial aspect or not, they were there.
Yep, supporting it.
Just with everyone else. Yeah.
The things that bring us together. Government overreach.
Yeah. I saw signs that said "trans for gun rights."
Hell yeah.
Them traps like the guns. I've seen the pictures. For some reason, traps like guns.
They do. They do post them on those threads.
I've seen on Facebook.
The anime AR-15s. I've seen those.
Yeah.
P90s.
So it was peaceful. There was not a single incident.
Weren't people going open carry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I saw pictures of that.
Right. There's. It's funny when there's a bunch of guns around. No one wants to start anything.
Exactly. Funny how that works.
Yeah. After the protest, this is what Ralph Northam he tweeted, and he got ratioed to hell.
Really?
And for those of you out there, ratioed means that on Twitter it means your comments are much higher than your likes and retweets, meaning people are commenting how dumb you are.
Yep.
So he tweeted, "We are all thankful that today passed without incident. The team successfully de-escalated what could have been a volatile situation. I will continue to listen to the voices of Virginians and will do everything in my power to keep our Commonwealth safe." What did he do? What they de-escalate?
Absolutely nothing. Were there police out in force, patrolling?
Not in riot gear and stuff. But I mean, there were police there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what de-escalated? What? Nothing happened.
He wants to make it look like he actually did something to preserve the peace.
Obviously, that meme where it's like, oh, my job here is done, and the other person says, but you didn't do anything.
Yeah, no, they didn't do anything. Gnaw them. We got our guns. We're gonna keep them.
But it's just so funny. But we're gonna lead into this. We're gonna lead into what AOC had to say.
What did she
about this Second Amendment march? But it's just let me play this clip of AOC talking about this, and we'll get back to it.
Another thing that I've been really thinking and sitting with today is that there's this gun rights protest that's happening down in Richmond.
Right.
And
on MLK Day.
On MLK Day. But here's the image that has struck with me the most about that, is that when we go out and march for the dignity and the recognition of the lives of people like Freddie Gray and Eric Garner, the whole place is surrounded by police in riot gear without a gun in sight. And here are all of these people flying Confederate flags with semi-automatic weapons. And there's almost no police officers at that protest. So who or what are our institutions protecting from who?
Right.
And that image conveys it all. Conveys it all.
I'm going to take you back to your point.
Conveys it all.
Yeah. First of all, she started off by saying I was sitting around and thinking. I didn't know she thought. That was news to me.
She just says what's on her mind.
Well, the funny thing is, and then going through, this was at some event, some speaking event, and then they continue like, oh, on MLK Day. Again, like, okay, and so the gun rights walk was on MLK Day. What does the Second Amendment and race have to do with each other at all? But again, trying to vilify as somehow being pro Second Amendment has something to do with white supremacy, I guess, is where.
Yeah, she's misconstruing the whole situation. She's saying basically that because police and riot gear are surrounding events where people are protesting for Eric Garner, for some reason that means that they're more hostile towards those group of activists than Second Amendment activists.
Well, I mean, I'll say again, who died?
Nobody died.
What stores were looted? Who was assaulted? Nobody.
Not a peep.
That's why there's no riot gear. That's why.
Yeah.
And without getting into the innocence or guilt in the cases of Eric Garner and Freddie Gray, there are police and riot gear there because there were riots.
Yeah.
Because stores were being looted and property burned.
Yeah. That would not happen at a Second Amendment rally.
No.
It's just a different class of people altogether. Different convictions.
Right, one's a protest and a march, and the others are riots.
Yeah. There's people. Yeah, those riots. People are just looking out to get whatever they can in amidst the chaos because they know there's going to be chaos. You get a bunch of people with guns marching for their rights. That's not chaos. That's organized discontent, and people are freaking ragging on it for.
Well, I mean, it just proved, like, she's too stupid to realize what she just proved is what conservatives are talking about, is that Second Amendment protesters, people that show up to this are primarily peaceful.
Exactly.
She just proved that.
Yeah.
And she's too dumb to realize that she's proving conservatives' points about them being peaceful, and that all the smears are BS about being violent or threatening and intimidating.
Right. Yeah. I was seeing during the protest, there were some, like, people were interviewing on the ground, and one of the protesters was a pretty articulate black guy who was just saying they're trying to smear us as all racist, and look at me, here I am. I'm here with the rest of them, fighting for the same rights. And it's not fair, basically, he was saying.
The black guns matter?
Black guns matter.
Yeah, I saw that. No, I mean, there could have been neo-Nazis there. I didn't see any, as far as in the pictures and stuff. But no, there were people of all creeds and races and even transsexuals.
Yeah.
They're just all together, Antifa.
Yeah.
Just all marching together because nothing will bring you together like tyrants.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, if you want real intersectional whatever, I mean, that just broke all the boundaries. Is the Second Amendment doesn't have any, it doesn't really belong to any race or even ideology.
It's almost as if common ideology brings people together more than common features.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which is why intersectionality is so dumb. It's just focus on the issues. I don't care about what you identify as or your race. Like, I care about actually problem solving.
Yeah. Because I don't know, from what it seems like, you're painting people as your enemy. They're gonna feel like an enemy. You're not gonna make a friend or an ally, as they like to try to call each other.
About organizing, because I think
Whoops. Anyways, yes, continue.
Yeah. No, yeah, so I don't know. If you try to paint somebody as an enemy, they're going to feel like an enemy.
Right. It was just dumb.
I just got a comment from one of our listeners. Our show is going off air intermittently. But maybe it's something with the actual streaming.
What do you mean intermittently?
I don't know. That's all that Joel said.
Oh, well, anyways, continuing. Let's talk about Bernie.
Bernie.
What's
going on with Bernie?
Why is he such a cuck?
So what happened recently?
There's a lot that has happened with him recently. I guess we could start with Elizabeth Warren's team saying that he's sexist.
Yeah, what's going on? Well, I knew they were going to try to eat each other anyways, but what's with this recent Democratic vilifying of Bernie?
It supposedly came out that back in 2018, Bernie told Elizabeth Warren that a woman couldn't win the presidency. And CNN ran with that as truth, which is why, and then I don't know if you saw the debates, but they're like...
At the end?
No, not at the end. I'll play it at the end. CNN asked Bernie, why did you tell Elizabeth Warren that, like, as statement of fact? And he said, oh, I didn't, or whatever. But it was very defensive. It wasn't offensive. And then he gave his answer, and then the moderator went over to Elizabeth Warren and said, Elizabeth Warren, how did it make you feel when he said that? Just like, again, the statement is fact. And he just smiled at it. And then it's just... He's without a spine. He can't... It was so defensive rather than, like, deny it. Like, no, I didn't say that. That's dumb. This is a lie. He just kind of said... He just said, like, oh, of course a woman could be president. Yeah. You know? And, I mean, I don't really believe that coming out of his mouth. Maybe he said it'd be difficult for a woman to beat Trump specifically because Trump's Trump.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, who can honestly believe that Bernie does not want a woman to be president? Or this guy's like one of the most progressive guys there is.
Yeah, but then...
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but then... So he denied all that, and Elizabeth Warren and him had a confrontation after the debate, which CNN put the audio out on.
They were just
waiting for it. It was a hot mic. I actually... Like, Bernie voters were mad at CNN putting this out. And it was kind of dumb how they packaged it, say like, oh, we discovered this audio. And it was on their mics. But I actually don't mind them putting the audio out just because it's still on their stage. And it was just like literally right after the debate. It wasn't in private exactly. You're still on stage. So people were mad at that. I wasn't so mad at them putting out the audio, but let me play it for you.
You can't plan for an auto.
Oh, no. There's an ad.
Commercials, we can't get away from them.
I know. There's an ad on the video. But, okay. Give me another 5 seconds here. I'm sorry, hoax. We're too poor to afford non-advertising videos.
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
What?
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
Let's not do it right now. You want to have that discussion? We'll have that discussion. You called me. You told me. All right, let's not do it now.
I don't want to get in the middle of it. I just want to say hi, Bernie.
I just want to say hi, Bernie.
It was Steyer at the end. But
what's up, Bernie?
He's just like... Well, first of all, he went in... As you couldn't see... Obviously, just play the... He went in for the handshake, and Warren just denied it.
Wow. The disrespect.
The disrespect. But that's the thing is... Even there, it's just like... He's just like, oh, we'll talk about it later. He's so, like, defensive and just shrivels up.
Yeah.
And it's
Come
like...
on, Bernie.
Bro, you can't handle Elizabeth Warren. Like, that's the thing is for voters, like, even if you like Bernie's policy... I don't know why you damn call me, but let's say you do. But how do you see that? And you're like, yeah, that's who I want in the war room. That's who I want handling other world leaders. That's who I want negotiating my deals. Is that spineless coward right there? He can't even handle Pocahontas.
I'm disappointed in Bernie. He talks a lot of talk, but when it comes to actually facing somebody who's challenging him or even straight up lying about him, he doesn't have the strength to call him out on it.
Well, here's the thing.
He's not appealing
Just
to
like
the
back in
voters.
2016, the Democrats rigged the primaries for Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone behind the scenes was supporting Hillary. We saw the emails come out, the WikiLeaks. And Bernie still
He campaigned for her.
he campaigned for Clinton after the primaries because he's a pansy. He's got no spine. So
They're obviously giving him money.
So his supporters are saying that they're rigging the election again. And let me just read this tweet from Donald Trump because he tweeted about this. He says, "They are rigging the election against Bernie Sanders just like last time, only even more obviously. They are bringing him out of a so important Iowa in order that, as a senator, he sit through the impeachment hoax trial. Crazy Nancy thereby gives the strong edge to sleepy Joe Biden, and Bernie is shut out again. Very unfair, but that's the way Democrats play the game. Anyway, it's a lot of fun to watch." So
Just calling it out like it
is a big theory that Nancy Pelosi waited on handing the impeachment documents over to the Senate so that it would go on during the Iowa caucus and take Bernie. He has to sit through the impeachment trial.
So he wouldn't be able to campaign in Iowa.
And his own supporters are spreading that. It's not just like,
not
Trump
just-
chimed in on it.
It's not just right wing.
But yeah, and then Bernie Sanders quote tweeted that and said, "Let's be clear about." Okay, I'm not gonna try a voice. Let's be clear about who is rigging what. It is Donald Trump's action to use the power of the federal government of his own political benefit that is the cause of the impeachment trial. Democrats are going to untie. Oh, Democrats are going to unite to sweep him out of the White House in November.
There's no
So-
uniting amongst the Democrats.
Well, he denounced the own theory that his own supporters are spreading and believe, right? That the Democrats don't want Bernie to win. They're going to do everything they can to make sure he doesn't win the primary. And he's turned on his own supporters.
It's like watching a boxing match.
He sides with the establishment over his supporters. And
Yeah, if you're a Bernie supporter, I mean, come on, man. What is this guy doing? This guy's betrayed you. He's like Anakin Skywalker. It's like watching a fight, and then the coach is like, "Hey, take a dive this round."
Yeah, he has no real loyalty. He's just a befuddling old buffoon.
And well, he's making money. I mean, he's not hurting for cash, but
Well, he's hurting physically. As we talked about last semester, he had a heart attack,
yeah, he did. He's getting older. He's getting up there.
and
Doesn't have the energy.
Well, this is apolitical, just in general, right or left. Why would you want a candidate who has a good chance of dying soon?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, why are you gonna vote for someone for them to die and then leave it up to their VP? So, like, if he takes Kamala, let's say he takes Kamala Harris, you want Kamala Harris to be president? You're gonna vote for Bernie Sanders, and you know Kamala Harris is gonna be president in the next 2 years?
is that who he said he'd pick as his VP?
No, but I can definitely see it happening. I can definitely see it happen because
Imagine if it was Warren.
he's a white old man. He's got to get that diversity in there.
Gosh, just checking all the boxes.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. But so in comes the Hill Dog.
Hail dog. Oh, wasn't she talking mad smack about him?
Yeah, she said nobody likes him. Nobody likes him.
She sounds like Trump there.
Yeah, on CBS, and then says that he fosters a toxic culture among his supporters, which kind of true. We'll talk about the Veritas stuff. There's so much stuff that has happened to Bernie. We'll get to the Veritas stuff.
Oh yeah, his was it campaign manager or something?
Multiple campaign staffers, but he says like he charges attacks at competitors, particularly the women. You know, and Sanders' response was only this when asked by CNN. Shook his head. He said, "I am sorry for what Secretary Clinton had to say. I know she said that nobody likes me, right? I mean, this is not the kind of rhetoric that we need right now when we are trying to bring the Democratic Party together to defeat the most dangerous president in American history. Which, first of all, I'm tired of the most dangerous president.
What has he done?
What's he done that's dangerous? Are we on fire right now?
No, we've just made threatening moves towards China and Iran, but nothing's happened.
Which, I mean, you could argue like was killing somebody good or bad for foreign policy? You know when it first happened, but as we've seen weeks later, nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened. I mean, if you want to get real deep into the conspiracy theories, the reason why all this stuff happened with Iran is because they're trying to leave the petrodollar system by forming their own currency backed by gold. But that's a rabbit hole that we don't have to get down in this show.
But anyway, back to Hill Dog.
Hill Dog.
Like, look at that response. He just said, "I'm sorry for what Secretary Clinton had to say."
Sorry,
That's not the kind of rhetoric we need right now.
Does that convey strength to you? It doesn't convey strength to me.
Well, how is he gonna fare on stage with Trump? He's just gonna beat that old man.
I'd rather see Bernie just go balls to the wall and just.
He doesn't have it in him. He doesn't have a set of those things you just said. He doesn't. Like, how's that your response? He's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Come on,
and
Bernie.
he's like, "That's not the kind of rhetoric we need right now." Just this.
What kind of rhetoric do we need right now, Bernie?
First of all, he it's almost taking a like he
is a collective.
A collective with the Democrats, and his previous statement,
but they're all against
response
him.
to Trump is took this we collective. First of all, bro, you're an independent who just registers Democrat for the elections, and second, the Democrats don't like you. They don't want you.
Is he like that kid at school where he'd try to be part of the like be at the table, but he would say stuff and people would just ignore him?
Well, look at Trump in 2015 and 16. Dude, he took it to Republicans, establishment Republicans.
Yeah, he was just like wailing on him.
Yeah, and the base like that. They didn't say, "Oh, you're hurting our establishment Republicans." No, they loved it. They loved the change.
People don't understand.
Bernie's trying to fit in instead of standing out.
Yeah, and that's going to be his downfall. Well, at least in terms of his popularity, I think. So he's not going to be. He's going to be pushed out again, and he's going to allow it to happen.
There's no we. There's no we, Bernie.
He has to make for himself a strong I statement. Like, I believe in this.
Yeah.
This is what's going to bring us forward, and he doesn't have that. He doesn't have it. He allows other people to walk over him, and that displays weakness. That's
he's got no
simple as.
He's got no spine.
Simple as.
I mean,
what is Hillary doing? Like, isn't she making a Netflix documentary?
Yeah, it's something like that, or Hulu.
Oh yeah, they're just in it for the money, man.
Yeah. Back to Veritas. So Veritas, they went undercover as they usually do into the Bernie Iowa campaign, and they had several. I know one staffer from Iowa. I think there might have been another like high staffer in South Carolina. But the Iowa, the campaign leader was calling for gulags and re-education of conservatives, and killing Nazis, which quote unquote Nazis.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, just means normal hardline conservatives.
Yeah, pretty much.
First of all, I wouldn't get on board with killing anybody, even actual Nazis.
Yeah.
Just for being Nazis, but on top of it, we know that he doesn't mean actual Nazis. He just means people that aren't gonna cuck to communism.
Yeah.
And I want to hear this. He's democratic socialist. Bernie's a communist. He literally go back to the 80s and 90s. He's praised just about every communist government there was.
And why do people think it's okay? I don't get it. I mean, it's like on Reddit. Like, why is the subreddit communism not contained, but the Donald is contained? It's like quarantined. It doesn't make any sense. There's obviously a left-leaning bias amongst.
Well, and then Veritas was asking questions to the South Carolina Bernie headquarters, and they called the cops. Said it was harassment. Now the cops didn't do anything. They just kind of broke it up. They didn't arrest anyone. They're just like the cops didn't care much. But
They got better stuff to do.
yeah, but they just called the cops for asking questions, and then Bernie's over here talking about freedom of speech and journalism, how important it is. It's just funny.
Truth is important, and we're not getting a lot of it right now.
Yeah.
And I think people are getting tired, which is why I think Trump is going to win in a landslide in 2020, and he's probably going to take the popular vote too. I could be wrong, but I think it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
They've been pushing their luck.
Well, if some of these polls are accurate, then yeah, like some polls like put his black support at 30%. Like I don't know if that's that high.
Wasn't it like in the teens in the 2016?
I think he got 8%.
Not even the double digits.
Well, that's the thing is if Republicans get 20% of black support, I think it's 20%. Democrats will never win another election.
Well then,
because it's already close as it is, and then you just tip it the scales even that much because black demographic votes overly Democratic.
Yep.
But if you just get that much, that amount of slice, Republicans would just dominate.
Yeah, but then you have to think about the influx and the increasing demographic of Hispanics who overwhelmingly vote left wing.
Yeah, but I mean, even now they're still more Republican than black demographic.
That is true. So what's going to happen when the Democrats let that demographic?
I mean, that's why they're so soft on the illegal immigration, is they're trying to placate
the Hispanics. But then at the same time they'll lose black support because even among African Americans they realize that they're losing economic power to Hispanics, and you see that what happened with Compton. You look at California, African Americans are pushed out of Compton.
Yeah, well, they're only placating Hispanics that actually have family that benefit them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hispanics that are here and established, they don't want to increase illegal immigration.
It's a touchy subject, and it'll probably become more prevalent throughout this century. But they don't vote. They don't vote like their population shows.
Right.
They don't come out and vote.
I think we actually have a show after us this semester, so we're gonna have to head off.
All right, guys.
I wanted to talk about Joe Rogan and Bernie, but we'll have to say that for later. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We're very excited to be back this semester.
Yeah. And me too.
Yeah. And you lovely people have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.